So anyways, you can order it.
Winston City Council meeting, September 15, 2025.
Texas. You're in Oregon now.
Yeah.
Change your shirt.
They're trying to win the game tonight, too.
Yeah.
I was watching before I left.
Cowboys?
Texas, yeah, no, Texas, Houston, Texas.
They'll never win that game.
And, well, actually, they were ahead when I left. And, what? Again? Yeah, well,
College or pro?
pro, and playing the Buccaneers.
That's an expensive price.
I don't know.
Well, it was one of those that they didn't have an offense or defense, so
Oh.
it's a new team that will.
I was glad.
Thank you everybody for coming. Let's stand and say pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you, everybody. Okay, roll call. Counselor Wiggins. Here. Counselor Hobson. Here. Counselor White. Here. Counselor Cunningham.
Here.
Mayor Knudsen. We're all here. Mr. McIntosh, are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, Your Honor, there's two minor adjustments to the agenda. Number one, we're going to add a Chamber of Commerce report under boards, commissions, committees, schools. That's item number 4C, add number C.
Oh, okay.
And then for department reports, it would seem that Chris wants to be overly brief, so he does not have a report this evening. So remove A and remove C, because you can see the chief is not here with us.
Okay. 7:15. Okay.
Game on.
Approval of the council minutes. Are there any corrections for the minutes of September 2nd?
I move we approve the council minutes as presented.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Okay, comments from the audience. Anyone wishing to discuss items not covered on this agenda is welcome to address the city council as a whole. Please state your name and address for the record. Each speaker will be given a maximum of 3 minutes. Speakers may not defame, intimidate, or use profanity or personal affronts. The council reserves the right to delay action until they have the full information on the issue. Would anybody like to come forward and share? Okay, seeing none. Reports, boards, commissions, committees, and schools. Economic development, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Good evening, members of the audience. We did not have a very large group, so the meeting was overly brief, maybe about 15-20 minutes. There was a very minor development report shared. We shared the grant opportunity that the city was awarded through the House Bill 5006 in regards to the utilities being extended down Highway 42, or the potential of that project in concert with that grant money. The Chamber had a very brief report in regards to what they're doing from Steve, very minor. A very brief meeting. Kim Todd from CCD shared support in regards to the community development, and Mr. Carton asked a few questions. That was the crux of the meeting.
I have one question. What is IHC? It says under the good of the order, IHC will be taken over by another company, so delayed in opening.
Oh, that would be the Volante on top of the hill over here.
Oh, that. Yeah.
That was one nugget that was shared. I appreciate you reminding me of that. We did not have that bit of information until Villain Curry shared it, because we only knew that it was closing due to some challenges from the funding agency. But as it would appear, there's another funding group that's taking over, and that will be full steam ahead. I need to be reminded of that name.
Is that healthcare? Is it healthcare that's taking it over?
It is. In the name of the company is not right on the tip.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to think of it later, but
Yeah,
we can get that information for you. But the good news is that it's full steam ahead, and it's going to continue in terms of opening.
So it is going to open? Okay.
Yes.
right. Okay, good, thank you, Volante. Okay. Park Board, Ms. White.
Well, Mrs. White fell and hurt herself and didn't make it. I know, clumsies, tripped over oxygen cord that my husband walks with all the time. So I did not make it. I do have the minutes from there, and they're still trying to figure out exactly what kind of benches they're gonna have. Because I called and asked, because I wondered, Jack told me because I said, how come we haven't come to conclusion? They said they're still discussing because they want to make sure they get everything correct. Replacement signs on the vault toilet at the boat ramp here. They've arrived now. They're going to be painting and installing new signs this month sometime. I don't know when. Maybe you can tell me.
We're hoping this month, Dory. So we have to, excuse me, but we have to paint it, clean that vault toilet up over years, and and those signs kind of fade out, and so that'll be on our books for kind of cleaning that up. So
Did you get cleaned up at the flood?
we cleaned it up pretty good at the flood.
Bet you did.
Yeah, it was pretty clean in there actually after the. Anyway.
And they're also installing the signs which were provided by Wildlife Safari.
Very happy about that.
Yes. And ORPD grant for the new restrooms at the community park kind of fell through. I'm going to apply again next year. So sorry about that. We are. Everybody was hoping we'd get that. Also, the other thing that was brought was that there's some one of the residents that live near the community park shared concern about some different activity that's going on down there. They don't say what. Anyway, they're suggesting lighting, and I think that's going to come through, isn't it? They're going to try and put some more lighting.
They're gonna have the police inspect it first.
Yeah. It'll have to be discussed further. And Rianne also provided the update on the Winston Gold Star Family Memorial Project. Grant applications are in progress. We haven't heard yet. We're just starting to get it done. And also a grant application with the Home Depot Foundation this month. We're going through. Monica shared that since the entrance to the River Bend Park asphalt was done, it significantly has changed the clearance height to the sign above the entrance. And it was suggested we need to measure and replace the smaller sign that gives the correct clearance height.
I'd love to follow up on that. So the original height on the original sign is 14 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular sign, the asphalt didn't change anything. We paved it to match the existing. So what we did when we did it, that we measured, there was a 14 mark in there, but we marked in about 6 spots and checked it. We took the lowest number, which is 13 feet 10 inches. So it's 13 feet 10.
1310 now?
Yeah, that's what it's been.
So that's
There was a 14 in there, so that technically the old sign that said 14 was accurate. You could have got a 14, but like I said, we measured. We got the lowest point of the entrance sign. It's 13.
Because of the truck from the 4th of July had to go through the.
Absolutely, yeah. Typically, that's not uncommon. That's why we open up those side gates.
Right.
So we've had items come through there. I think Clay had some items too. We had to shift around. It's not really set up for larger trucks to get in there. So.
cool. Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
I think
Dory.
that's all that I'm aware of at this point.
Thank you, Dory. Okay. Department reports. Public Works, Mr. Howell.
Well, good evening, everybody. Just a kind of an update on ODOT. I'm sure everybody's aware with the ODOT project. They're starting paving in Green tonight. They're going to be doing their night work. I was going to kind of go give an overview of kind of the schedule, the rough schedule that ODOT's looking at. So they're going to start the Green District tonight, begins the 15th. Most paving for the next few weeks will focus on the 4-lane section of Oregon 42 between the South Umpqua River and Carnes Road. Paving is scheduled at night from 7 p.m. to 8 a.m., Sunday nights to Friday mornings. During the construction phase, at least one lane in each direction will remain open at all times. Delays should be brief. They ask for courtesy and respect for the folks out there working, of course. For the week of September 15th through 19th, the prime contractor, Rocky Mountain Construction, will pave areas along the shoulder where Oregon 42 will be widened to accommodate the new turn lanes. When the section of paving is finished, the contractor will install the raised concrete barriers and traffic separators along the center median. These safety features must be in place before the new traffic signals at Rolling Hills is installed. So they have quite a bit of work to do there. The contractor will return next spring to pave the other areas of 42 from Looking Glass Creek to the Umpqua River Bridge, Carter Road. The Oregon 42 Looking Glass project to I-5 project will resurface about a 5-mile section of Oregon and 42 between Winston and Interstate 5, install the new traffic signal at Rolling Hills Road, and safety features to help reduce crashes through the Green District, and upgrade sidewalks, curbs, ramps to better accommodate wheelchair users and other pedestrians. This project, all work on this was $11.97 million, and the project is scheduled for completion of September of 2026.
Okay, because I was just reading an article that they were going to be done in November. And
Yeah, we just got this today.
Yeah,
So,
it just came out today.
So phase 1 will be done in November then?
November 26th is the resurfacing from the bridge
Yeah.
to I-5. Oh, good.
so
In time for Melon Festival and all that good stuff next year. Right on.
yep. So that was it. Just a quick update.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Yes. Administration, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Good evening again, members of the audience. Just a really brief report with you. This past Thursday, we had our FEMA representatives come down. We had about 3 of them in the room talking about the recovery funding program that we're eligible for, that we're moving forward on. We actually did some site visits in 3 different locations. The boat ramp down here, the Looking Glass Creek Pump Station, and Riverbend Park. So Public Works was instrumental in that, and our initial exposure with the federal individuals has been very positive. I mean, we're real happy with how they're coming together with us, understanding the grave nature of how we really need to recover the funding that we had to put in that we didn't anticipate by virtue of the flood and that natural disaster. So I got an email again today, and they're frequently communicating with us. So it's a 75-25 split. We're responsible for 25%. But what I like about the program, and we won't belabor the subject, but we are figuring out how to get recovery funding to not just get back to pre-disaster conditions, but also how to improve each aspect that was damaged to make it more robust and impervious against future floods. So there's 2 programs that we're looking at, trying to get funding for both of those. So we'll be working on that. It'll be ongoing.
Quick question. On a 75-25% split, is there any insurance that we have that might cover the 25%?
Yeah, we're looking into insurance claims with CIS. I have a call out to our loss individual, Emily, over there. And so we're going to be correlating this week with them to figure out insurance, because that was a big topic that came up during this FEMA meeting. What kinds of claims did you go through? What did the process look like? So we have reached out. We'll have more information on that shortly.
So there's a possibility that we may not have anything out of pocket.
I think it's a major probability, yes.
Thank you.
Thomas, we talked about the other program, so changing the Looking Glass Creek Pump Station so that it wouldn't be affected by another flood, would that be perhaps on their plate also?
Absolutely. I mean, we really covered a lot of country when we were out there. Andy with Colin from FEMA looked at a lot of different things. Andy really did a good job of going through how we had to go all the way up to Portland, get this bypass pumping system, pay to bring it down, do all of those things. So what we're looking at is trying to make upgrades that would allow us to put preventative measures in place. And they have their main program we're eligible for. but their public assistance program that does that, we're eligible for that too. So we're looking at both of those, going to both of those wells to get money. It's also 75-25 split.
Perfect. Anybody else? All right, old business, we have none. New business. Yes, city council workshop. Everybody needs to spread the word on this one. We are having a property tax workshop October 6th, 5:30 at the community center to explain exactly what your taxes are and what they pay for, so that everybody will be informed. We have a request for a fee waiver or reduction from the Winston-Dillard Melon Festival.
Yep.
Please.
Good evening, council, Ms. Mayor, gentlemen. I received our park permit and all of my other paperwork from Debbie the other day for all of my fees. We have some money on file for reduction in fees for the park, and all that has been taken care of. That was $1,600 and something. And on top of that, we received a bill. It's not really a bill, but it's a statement on the bottom from Police Department, Brandon, Chief Sardi, for $1,820. And I'm pretty sure that's for the parade. And he gave an itemized thing here, seven officers and a 4-hour minimum at $65 an hour. But at $1,820, we can't run a parade like that. And I'm requesting a waiver in those fees.
Can we do that without him here?
Yes, indeed, Mayor, Council. That is typical every year, and what he's alluding to in the 4 hours is if there's an officer that's not there, contractually, our union contract dictates that it's a 4-hour call out, and they get time and a half on that. So he calculated that, which is something that they do every year, just to show you the value of how the PD is contributing to the event.
Okay, so
But you can waive if you feel inclined to do so.
do I have a motion?
I make a motion to waive the fee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Okay, now our exciting part. Business license revocation for rolling used goods. Eric Walker, owner. Are you here?
He is not.
Okay. Do I have a motion to revoke this license? Is that what I need to ask?
I can give a brief overview if you'd like.
Please?
I would appreciate
Yes,
that.
please.
Yeah, Mayor, Council, members of the audience, a couple really difficult from a code standpoint actionable items here. I do want to give the caveat that this and your next agenda item comes before you with a recommendation of the planning or a decision from the Planning Commission to revoke permits and conditional use permits. And that's not an item that has to come to you. The business license considerations, those have to come to you by virtue of the code. So the rolling goods operation, which is just across the street, this is on your agenda today. The reason it reaches your agenda in this extent is if there... Yeah, this is a heavy topic, I get it. In all seriousness, the reason why it reaches your agenda today is because it has gone through years and years of compliance and violation processes with no success with bringing the property into compliance. Those police reports and compliance reports are attached. There's a lot of documentation there, redacted of course. But just to give you
All of these. Both sides.
Yes. both sides. Just to give you a brief overview, in February 2020, the property received approval to carry out a tire shop operation, and then in May of 2021, the property also received approval for permits to carry out a used goods operation. From that point forward, the city has ran numerous violations every year through the court process associated with junk vehicles, scattered rubbish, and attractive nuisances. The biggest being attractive nuisances and safety situations, public health and safety situations. So the Planning Commission took up the consideration of it upon appeal. The city manager processed the initial revocation of the permits, but this is before you today you can't run an operation without the permits and the business license. They go hand in hand. You need both. So if you don't have one, you can't run it. If you don't have other, you can't run it. But since the Planning Commission made their decision, it's pertinent for you to consider the business license as well. Happy to take any questions.
I'm just going to make a statement as I don't want anybody to have to leave town and leave their business. But when you have this much action of violations being done and not being taken care of and continuous through years, it's not just, a couple of days, then maybe they need to do something different. We need, yeah, we need to, we're trying to clean it up, so let's do it.
I agree with the mayor. I make a motion that we revoke the license.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now, do we have to do the same with Mr. Hurd?
Yes, but I will.
Is Mr.
Be,
Hurd here?
he is not.
Okay.
But I will be brief, Mayor.
Your broad shoulders.
Okay. I need to. The next one is business license revocation for Northern Wholesale Truck and Auto Equipment LLC, David Hurd, owner. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This particular operation is on the corner right next to the Cheetah Junction. There's a collection of cars there. You see it when you go by, to and fro. All of our citizens in Winston that live in Winston or are passing through to somewhere else, they see it. It's very visible. There's two ways that the city of Winston can flush out a violation process. Number one, and the most common, is it's a complaint-driven program, which means a citizen has to submit a complaint with their name and address, and it's followed up. The second is if it's identified by city staff or the compliance officer. Because the property is so visible, that's typically what's taken place. It was permitted in 2015, so this particular conditional use permit is 10 years old. And your stack of violations that you have there is 5 times the size as the last one. And most of it has to do with, instead of running essentially a used car operation, it has turned into a wrecking yard, which is inoperable vehicles, or maybe in some portion of operation of vehicles in excess of 7 on the property. There's a lot you can't see because there's a fence there. There's about 4 different tax lots. And so the property across the street, the operation has even bled into that property, and there's a lot of storage there. The Planning Commission also upheld the city manager's decision to revoke the conditional use permit. Mr. Hurd did attend that particular meeting, and he mentioned that he will have the property cleared within 30 days. Happy to take any questions on that.
So he's gonna get it cleared out so he can stay, or what's his long-term goal?
What he has communicated to us, and thank you for asking that, because once it is cleared off, it is a prime commercial piece of property with very good exposure. He has communicated that he is going to clear it out, bring it into compliance, and then approach the city and figure out what kind of viable operation he can then start, which we're happy to do. But
Perfectly happy to do.
commercial operations are open within the code.
So if we revoke the license and then he comes back, then we can reinstate it?
A different one.
A different one.
Yeah, okay.
I know,
So
yes.
we would be revoking his license to what he's doing right now.
Correct.
Or what he proposing to do even though he's not doing it.
In conjunction with the permit side that's already been revoked, yes.
Well, I've been on the council now for just a little bit more than 8 years, and this has been continually an eyesore. And he has been continually making promises which he has not fulfilled. So what you're just spoken about is that, be true for you, I got serious doubt that he's gonna repeat what he's doing right now.
We had problems with him when I was on the council. He came before the council and he was asked to clean things up and do things, and that was before you came on. So he's not done anything that he's been asked to do, ever.
Sure, but if we revoke the license, then that kind of
Takes care of it.
Yeah. Okay, I make a motion that we revoke the license.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Hurd is revoked. Thank you, guys. Resolution number 25-1200, supplemental budget FY 2025-26. Read by title only, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Resolution number 25-1200, a resolution of the City of Winston, Oregon City Council adopting a supplemental budget for the City of Winston for the 25-26 fiscal year and making appropriations.
All right, and the staff report, Mr. McIntosh.
Very briefly, Mayor, good evening again. This particular resolution executes the decision-making you did in your special meeting just about a month ago. And it has to do with how the city operates its budget. We operate under a modified accrual. What that means, that's a fancy word for saying when we do our budgeting process, everything is based on projections and estimates. We do it in May. There's still several months left and invoices we have to close out. After the budget year is closed out, we get a little more of an accurate number on carryover numbers. We did that at the beginning of August. We brought some information to you, and there were some areas in the general fund, in particular in the general fund, that lended some concern. So this particular supplemental budget brings enough, a small amount really, of revenues over from reserve to make sure that these city services, particularly within the PD and our general fund, are sustained appropriately. In addition to what it does, and in concert with some of your previous agenda items this evening, it allows enough funding in there in case the folks don't do anything. In case they leave their cars over there, there's enough to abate the property and the city can clear it off and complete our compliance process, which is an important aspect. Also, what it does is the chief got a grant, $24,000. It's for speed signs, which we are going to inundate in the city in the in the school areas. This accounts for this. It has to be factored in. It was not factored in at the time that you did your budget. So it's $24,000 of unanticipated revenue and expenditures. So we had to factor in by virtue of this supplemental budget and in and out in that regard. So that's essentially what it does. Happy to take any questions.
Well, how much are we talking about excluding the $24,000 that's going into the general fund?
$245,000 total against an interfund loan with the very low percentage rate against the sewer reserve.
Okay, thank you.
Comments from the audience? Okay, council action. I need a motion to accept resolution
Yes.
25-1200 supplemental budget for 25-26. And a second? Aye. And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Right on, guys. Okay, resolution 25-1201, pump purchase for wastewater treatment facility. Read by title only, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 25-1201, a resolution of the City of Winston, Oregon City Council, authorizing the city manager to purchase 3 replacement effluent pumps for the Winston Green wastewater treatment plant in an amount not to exceed
So as you know, our pumps have been failing over the last several years. They're reaching 50 years old. They've worked nonstop. So we rebuilt them over the last several years. I think the newest one was 3 years ago. And at the time, we kind of determined that this would be the last round of rebuilding them. And so this would be the replacement pumps for our main pump station.
And how long does it take to get these babies?
These are roughly 12 weeks, so that's actually really, really good. I know a couple of years ago they were upwards of 30 weeks out, so
30 weeks.
yeah, so 12's really, really, really good. And that is the total purchase amount. Of course, that's split with Green. So the City of Winston's half would be the $76,230.40.
Perfect.
Is this outside of our budget?
Nope, this is budget.
This is budget.
Oh, time to dose my dog, sorry. Okay, comments from the audience?
What's the longevity?
Oh,
Get up here.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lenny Harris, 80 Sherry Street. Just curious what the lengths of pumps are. You said 50 years was the last three. And
Yeah,
obviously
so
rebuilds.
unfortunately with anything new,
Yeah.
you're not going to get 50 years out.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
And their rebuild recommendations are actually every couple of years, but most places see 10 to 15 years out.
Okay.
So, because we're not running them at max capacity all day, every day, so we should see in that 10 to 15 year lifespan out of them before they need rebuild. That's
Right.
about.
Okay, that was my question. Thanks, Chris.
Mhm.
And they'll have parts available where the ones that we have now are obsolete?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. And we'll keep parts on hand at the plant. So.
what that shop's for.
Yep.
Okay, oh, go ahead.
Chris, you're getting three, do these three run all the time or just during the heaviest times?
Just during the heaviest times, we run them all at the same time. So normally we rotate through just to kind of even the amount of hours out on all the pumps. Yep.
I do have another question. On those new pumps, obviously most things new are more efficient. Are we going to see any cost savings on other places that this picks up, like power or anything like that?
Minimal. So we had looked with Energy Trust on getting money
Right.
from the state for energy purposes, and it didn't really pencil out.
Okay. At least you looked.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Comments from the audience and council action. Anybody else from the audience want to come up? Council action,
Make a motion that we approve.
second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Can't write anymore. Okay, resolution number 25-1202, acceptance of state capital funding grant. Read by title only, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 25-1202, a resolution of the City of Winston, Oregon City Council authorizing the city manager to accept a grant fund in the amount of $946,700 from the State Capital Funding Grant Program.
Okay. And staff report, Mr. McIntosh.
Yes, thank you. The resolution that you see before you runs in concert with, of course, the grant that we applied for on the utilities, bringing the utilities, particularly the sewer, down Highway 42 for any potential future development. It's been a major deterrent. We took a swing at a funding grant. We got awarded that grant like we had talked before. This is actually a grant funding opportunity where the governor, it's factored into a bill and the governor has to sign the bill. It's House Bill 5006. It's a riveting read. It's about 86 pages. We're on page 20 if you want to find us. But the City of Winston has a small little liner in there. We're giving you this much for that, which is, I think, labeled as the Highway 42 Sewer Infrastructure Project. So they have a project information sheet, and they require to give us the money for me to sign. We need a resolution from you to do that. So that's a supplemental budget will come later to actually do the financial diligence and factor it in, but this just allows me to sign that form and accept the money.
Comments from the audience? Okay, seeing none, council action, I need a motion to.
Thomas, so the 946,700 grant, is that going to do the whole thing, or is that just the start?
Well, that's not going to do the whole thing because there's the remaining portion of that bad line. There's the extension and the horizontal directional drilling, plus there's the lift station that would need to be installed down there. So we're going through the process right now of getting engineers' estimate. We do have some of it engineered, but we don't have the line that would need to be extended. We don't have any engineering on that. So that amount is not going to cover everything. And we didn't anticipate that because we framed it in such a capacity that we have some skin in the game as a city. We're covering a little more than 50% of it. But we'll have to dive into another area, probably our SDC reserves, which you can only use on growth, so that's a perfect funding source for that, or else it just sits over there. So the answer to that's no. Long-winded no, sorry.
But it's also a long-term project, basically.
It is, and it's going to be really in conjunction with what folks are going to do out there and if they're going to do things out there. We definitely want to see something. If we're going to put the folks' money into that, then it's going to be necessary to receive some type of assurance from developers.
Well, are we going to, is the cost of the pump station going to be maybe similar to the Snow Street pump station?
It's gonna be higher.
You want me to take that one? It could be. We did a DEQ loan grant for over $700,000. I think it was over 700. We're still paying on that for snow. Could have been more. Andy can quote me on that, but it could be. That one was a triplex, which means it's a 3-pump system. The estimate that we've initially received on this one is a duplex, which is a 2-pump system. We don't know at this point. It's very preliminary. But what we do know is that we are looking into channels on what other cities do to pass the funding and finance it, but through the private sector, because it's substantially cheaper. And we can take the funding and do 2 or 3 projects instead of just the one. It's more expensive for cities to do it because of prevailing wages and bully laws. So it's challenging in that way. So it's out there, very preliminary.
And it will open it up. It will open it up and give so much opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
To come in town. Okay. Are there any other comments or questions?
I'll go for one.
Please.
Do I state my name?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes.
I'm Andrew Griffin. I'm reporting with the News Review. I just wanted to ask, we're talking about how it's a long-term project. Is there an estimate for the length of from start to finish for this project, or would that have to be hammered out once more of the engineering details are all solidified?
Thank you, Andrew, for coming today. The engineering, we could get that in short order. Our engineers are pretty efficient with that sort of thing, but really the timeline is going to depend on what folks are going to do. We've got some really viable developers down there that own those properties, and that didn't used to be the case. It's transitioned over the past 2 or 3 years to the hands of some really viable developers. So the correct answer is we just don't know the timeline.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would the developers have a hand in paying for some of this?
Up until this point, it was kind of all on them because the city didn't have, the ability in our coffers to handle that sort of thing. And it's been a deterrent. But at this point, we can still go that route, or the city does have the ability probably to finance the majority of it.
Well, why not go and use it as a partnership?
Yeah, so those are the conversations as they've evolved. Mr. Mike Kelly and the Smiths on the corner, it's been really a rapport or endeavor of a 3-way partnership. And it started with, you folks are going to have to look at doing this, but we'll do whatever we can. And then it transitioned to, well, maybe we can do SDC reserves and we can have a third of the pie. And now it's transitioned to, well, we have a lot more funding because of this grant now, so we can cover a little more than we did.
So in other words, you could use it as a carrot.
Very large carrot.
A very large carrot.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the whole idea.
It's the folks' money, so we're going to extend it just as far as we can, because they deserve that.
Anybody else? Does the council have any other comments? I need a motion to accept Resolution 25-1202, acceptance of the state capital funding grant.
I move to approve resolution 25-1202 as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right on. Passes. Okay, non-agenda items from the council.
Mayor, you skipped over the chamber report.
Oh, I did. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me.
Thank you.
I apologize. I skipped over the C, chamber reports, under reports, boards, commissions, committees, and schools.
She just likes to see me up here.
I do. It's done this way.
Lenny again with the Winston Area Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
I am the secretary on the Chamber of Commerce. We started the chamber right about a year ago. Is that right, Shannon?
Yes.
Shannon was one of the founding members of the new chamber. My whole goal tonight is to speak about the TRT funding that the chamber receives. So just give an update of the monies in and the monies out. The monies in from the TRT funds, which anybody in the audience that doesn't know, is tourism and room tax. So hotels, Airbnbs pay a portion of that overnight stay into building the economy back in Winston through travel and the room board tax. So as of now, the chamber has received $6,000. This last week I was tasked with looking and going over what to kind of do with the $6,000 to start bringing more tourists to town. I own a business here in town, and so one of my goals is I meet with a coach every 2 weeks for our business. I spent that hour with our coach diving into what we can use, what the city can do as far as the chamber with that money and how the best spent. So we identified a couple of things. First thing we did was kind of just took a zoom out of Winston. We all know that we have our challenges being a smaller community, not a lot of money, and with the low amount of hotels now, losing one, we've lost several $1,000s in some of that TRT funding. So one of the things that we discussed years ago when I was on the URA in economic development was wayfinding signage. When you take I-5 and you're taking the exit, all the wayfinding signage is for green. All your food options, all that. And as you continue down 42, it ends. It doesn't really give any identifiers for what's in Winston, for our restaurants, our hotels, any of that. So it's always been kind of a challenge. So that was one of the first things that we looked at and had been brought up for several years now. So one of the members on our chamber actually works for ODOT, and so that kind of lowered that barrier of who to get a hold of and some of that. So with the 42 project going now, it's kind of the best time to work with them to beautify and identify the wayfinding signage and get it done. Now, we all know working with the state of Oregon is not always the funnest. County, you know, as we come down, it starts to get easier and easier. So if the state of Oregon isn't really willing to work with us, or it's out of the budget for doing some of that, we've identified 2 locally owned properties, and we're reaching out to those owners as well. Obviously, having a limited $6,000 budget doesn't give us a lot to do yet, but my whole point and goal of this report is just to let everybody know that the money isn't sitting stagnant. We're trying to find the best resources and the best way to spend the money that gets us the most value for the dollar. And unfortunately, it just doesn't go as far anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so the property owners to put signage on?
Yeah, so putting some private wayfinding signage at these local properties.
Inside the Winston City
Inside
limits?
Winston City limits versus if the state doesn't play nice, doesn't want to give up access to, you know, the road on 42.
Right.
Obviously, the more that we can get the state to fund it or put it at a better visual point ahead of Winston, letting them know ahead is these certain features that we want to be key. Our food, dining, and the hotel that we do have, because if we lose that hotel, we're really out of places to stay.
Yeah.
So anything that we can do to continue to bring people in and spend their dollars here, the better it is for all the businesses, not just those ones. Those were just some of the things that when I left the URA was a point of contention over and over and brought. And tonight, again, we talked about the Highway 42 project being developed. It's really no better of a time to then add these beautifying markers. So that's kind of all I have. There's a couple other projects that we have in the works, but again, we're trying to identify the best way to spend the money and bring the most value for those dollars.
Lenny, thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Since the signage is for the city, can the URA help with the cost of the signage?
If the placement is within the URA district, yes, you can definitely consider that.
So it's the challenge is finding and identifying the best places to put it, and as we get in, all of a sudden it starts being publicly owned. And So, but yeah, that's another topic I don't think that we covered was identifying some of the city property that we might be able to use as well. But I don't know if there's any on the outskirts, kind of leading in. So
None at the city, not in our inventory.
right, yeah, that's what I thought. So that limits that.
Yeah,
So
URA's all.
That's been-
This way, going that way, URA would be able to.
yeah, coming in possibly.
Yeah.
Right?
But not that way.
It doesn't quite go down to the bridge. It doesn't even go to the auto care facility. For some reason, that's not in the URA, so it kind of ends right around there. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we were looking at a swap this year, and we were wanting to do an analysis on it.
With that project that we just signed in tonight, with obviously going that direction, is it time to look at redoing the URA boundaries?
Well, that way, yes, it does go down there.
Okay.
I think they were talking about the other bridge.
Oh.
No, not Dillard. No, this
Talking-
one right here. Yeah, Dillard.
It goes down down 42. It goes down there and it covers the southeastern side because that original Brockway
Goes down
resort.
Brockway.
Okay.
They factored in some of that. So Mike Kelly's property, just across from the Brockway store.
Okay.
That's where it stops.
That would be probably about perfect coming into town.
Yeah.
The other one would be obviously we'll identify or fund it differently.
Right.
So
Some of
anyway,
that area on the other side of the road is not in the URA boundaries.
Yeah. Great. It's a little wonky out there as you
Yeah.
travel that
The guy
direction.
that did the guy that auto care, Winston Auto Care, he is not in the URA boundaries.
right.
No,
Yeah.
there was some I was on the URA when it was done, and there are some in-town spots that they felt were developed as much as they were ever going to be developed, so they weren't put in. But then there's other spots that are in it.
That's my report. The money's not going nowhere yet, but we're identifying the best.
That's
the best.
That's
I think
good, though.
the signage idea is a great idea.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous.
That's where we're starting. There's, like I said, we identified a couple other projects, but I wanted to start with that first and kind of finish something that had been talked about for years.
Right
So,
on.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Yes,
very
Amy?
much.
Have you got any estimates on one of those signs?
No, I haven't. That's what I was trying. We were first identified that as the project, and then trying to get the bid. Whether how ODOT works, do we pay for that? Do they install it? All that. I'm trying to get the right contact there because that's a stupid process, and maybe you might have somebody that can. help with
Teresa
that as well.
DeWalt's been integral in
Yes.
trying to get because she works
Yes,
there.
she works
So
there.
she's helping us on the
Yeah.
chamber side.
So, yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much
Thank you
for
for
your
your
time.
time. And mine.
I'd be happy to back. Okay. Turn the page. Anything else I forgot? Okay, did that. Upcoming agenda items. Seeing none? Good to the order. Your check copies are in your packet or on your tablets. Claims in excess of $500. Announcements. The new city website is live. Please visit us at www.winstoncity.org.
Mayor, if I may, if the council will hang around after the meeting, I'm going to take pictures of all of you that's going to go on there.
please.
So,
Yeah.
if you would please. Thank you.
The Urban Renewal Agency will not meet in September. The next meeting is scheduled for October 16th at no time, at 5:30?
5:30, yeah.
Okay. At 5:30. The next council meeting will be October 6th at 7 at the community center. And the city council workshop on property taxes will be October 6th at 5:30 at the community center. Executive session.
None, Your Honor.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Didn't make 7:15.
I know, but it's close.
Still not 8 though. It's not bad though.
It's, yeah. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad. Good job.
Get out.
Thank you very much.
Way over standing somewhere.
Chris, you can
I appreciate
Lenny,
it.
what's your business?
Okay, so you tell me what
Lenny's business.
He makes like hats,
How are you?
t-shirts, and sweatshirts.
Perfect.
No, perfect.
Are you on Sherry's?
I own all of it.
Unless it didn't
You
turn out.
do the,
I don't know. I think it's 70, 80, 90.
so you were the one that, your company's the one that made my banner
Thanks, sir. Good picture.
and my buttons?
You look at oh, the guys.
I don't know enough about it, honestly, to make that
So,
a comment.
I know those guys. We moved.
Perfect.
We bought them back.
How are you?
Great, how are you doing?
Okay.
Good to see ya.
But I do believe.
Andrew, thanks for coming
Yeah.
down.
Because I thought, well, and I didn't look to see if I was still in business or.
So no, they we bought them back out, and one never came on board when we did the buyout. And the second just went back to school at UCC today.
Okay, so do you have any businesses?
Not
Not currently.
Okay. Because
Mostly driving up and down.
there's a couple of places that are gonna need to be here, and I'm trying to figure out places that are
cleared some stuff out.
and I thought maybe one of your places was open.
Was at one time there was a section.
Right, yeah, Max had stuff.
Yeah.
If you show pictures,
a little
But
confusing.
there's one over here,
They don't let me pull the job, so it's
which
like somebody's booth.
obviously one is going to be much smaller, and so is the other one. But if we could figure out a place for them to be able to go,
I get all the stuff back and I have the
Then-
orientation.
I've been trying to.
Then they'll
get
actually-
over where the Midtown
The,
Road.
well,
Yeah.
So we reached out
the
to
FGen operation.
the
There's
because I think that'd be
There's a lot of things that
breakfast
so
spot.
we
So I will
We-
reach out
they
to
were in our-
they were
had dinner,
originally-
they were gonna buy Willie's,
Yeah.
so that also.
They're in the middle of a remodel.
As long as they meet
So,
the situation, like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to
Yeah, that would be great,
Yeah.
that would be
so
great.
tell them to take a look at that. I think
Yes.
26 to 27 is the 90%.
Yeah.
The mayor and I
It's
did,
100%
okay.
like
and she has
Okay, I'll have a
budget
look.
on it, and we told her, certainly if you want to show
Yes.
these things, if it looks organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been reading the guys on
Okay.
Facebook that's got the,
Perfect.
yeah, the harvest store?
That would be kind of weird, you know what I mean?
When I talked to Thomas, we were talking about
his wife, his wife has
urban
actually
renewal
HR
and facade units. And you know, we were
Oh,
gonna
okay.
apply for one, $10,000, just doesn't go far.
Does it go very
Just
far?
bid for
Yeah.
painting our
Well,
building
this
was
is sort of evergreen.
$36,000
They usually hire for
for paint.
kids, like, do you want to
For
couldn't believe it.
paint.
Yeah,
Just
they-
for
For paint, because if they've been asking the labor,
You know,
rookie painter's $27 an
I
hour.
love recruiting, so
I think
works for me.
he said,
I like to
get a bunch of people together.
I
Which
think
I
in
see
some
this year.
ways,
Yeah.
If everyone would be
some,
right, yeah.
some ways we have
Very,
Yeah,
well, Rick, so he did a story.
She
I don't
is,
like
Yeah.
her.
she is.
So that's the thing.
She is amazing.
We're short staffed.
I'm
and
sure.
trying to find-
That's-
But he alluded
yeah.
to that.
Her son is,
I
Yeah.
think that's
so
what,
I
I think
have, I
that
work
would
with
be a
people,
great,
you know,
great
and I love her, but
city
anyway.
thing.
Yeah,
Because they're-
I
But,
agree.
you know, hey, this is the
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
thing,
They got
let's get
30
together.
They're gonna call,
Well, even at the strip mall, I don't know what he's gonna do, but
I prefer that.
I always, if you could do a co-op and get 5 makers and you could split it 5 ways instead of, you know, having $5,000, you know.
Yeah, we're waiting, we
So,
have asked
He has
for
one
one last plan, and
yes, for the
he
fire
has kept it close to the vest.
I guess it's some
Real curious.
Yeah, everybody has to move out.
That's
Right.
funny. She is.
Well, I mean, they all.
She does.
proceed
Oh,
to-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I-
But
So
there's
her
more-
and I play off
All I'm
really
gonna say
well
is there's more
together,
to it.
and then I'll ask her a question.
Right.
So,
Right.
I
And
know.
that's the way I hate Facebook.
So I keep her on her toes. She never knows. She never knows what's gonna come out of my mouth. So.
Did you have?
I know. This is why I like it. Well, awesome, Nick. I'll let him know.
So I feel.
Thank you.
I do feel. So,
All right.
but there's a key
You know where you need me.
in our community too.
So you
I 100% agree.
the first one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, no. I got the box on it. You turn right there. Yeah.
For a lot of people were kind of.
My parents, it was 250,000 visitors to.
For what? You got this.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's incredible.
Yeah, that's fine. And you got a copy of the PDF I sent to you, right?
And it says that on their wildlife safari.
And actually, it's carrying up with the
Yes.
directly.
I'm glad you noticed. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna.
Because that was one of the earlier we identified and it's like somehow part of it. Posting, a lot of the day I have 16 sites there, but I don't know. Yeah, so I know, so it's like what we're doing.
That's the thing, we're excited about that.
Disc golf. Oh, really? Yes, and I wanted to be able to see if they would be ready to open up another disc golf. But yeah, they play disc golf up there.
Give me a
And
overview to
my neighbor.
Yeah. So how do you declare
Stuff
an
like
emergency?
when we were in Texas, it was 400 square foot tiny homes everywhere, for Airbnb.
County, all the
We
cities.
have a meeting with the tribe,
Okay?
to present,
Days in 3D
present
layouts
the
of this
opportunity.
building
They
and all of
have
its crap.
the flats as you come into
Yep.
town. They bought that probably 40 years ago, and we're gonna build a hotel and a restaurant.
At that point, we were eligible for decarbonization.
Right.
And so, but they've never done anything.
So
with
we
it. And it's
used to
the
put it on
perfect
our
setting it up,
opportunity to go
and
in
that started
and
the
present one of
process.
those housing units that we
Yes.
saw at,
And since then, we had
Newborn
There you
City.
can see how much.
And we're at
Windows
the
stuff.
OMA, that has a group of cottages.
Yes.
And
What we
And then we had neighbors.
it's housing, it would create everything that we should be sustainable. So we have. Yeah, we do.
That's
But that's, you know.
It's
we
needed.
have-
Everybody's part of it.
Exactly.
You gotta
But
be
it
on
also
site.
creates a space for people to
Yeah,
say.
so many
Yeah.
properties that are being the wash company has 3 lots.
Well, you might have to pay for the
Churches, the.
Yeah,
I
do. I
And
just
try
try
So yeah, it's one of our, I'm really excited about our building.
And I do
Including one bedroom.
which I do the pro
Studio.
account.
And we Airbnb for 3,000 bucks a month.
The pro account.
My sister needed a place to live.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
No, yeah.
No, not even close.
so my brother did yeah.
We looked at one at the Des Moines Beer Conference, we looked at one that a gentleman had, 108 units. And they were none of them were over 790 square feet.
Yeah. But our building code says 1,000.
Off that, I also
Right.
wanted to ask about the.
We do not allow that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a catch-22, because then you end up having ADUs all over town.
Yeah.
So it's like
Right.
to fill with the RVs.
Yeah, well, we had deer. We were anticipating getting into a house.
We need some area, you know, and we are all small enough that went through this thing that
Right, yeah, yeah. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Without having to pay $500,000.
I know. That's why I'm excited. We can get something
I know
over there. There's 20, 30 more jobs here.
We're investing.
So.
No, but I feel the way that.
So, you take that and tabulate my direction, and we had a certain material.
Yeah.
You can always use chat GPT.
Based on my
Right.
Riddles going on too.
So, we just missed by a sliver.
Write emails.
It's and we score it automated calculated score.
And that's
Everything but about 14 million
That's
We'll try to get it. It's still sitting there, so.
Yes.
There's no reason. Also,
Well, and not only that,
The downside is.
during the day, we don't have 53
Yeah.
You know what it is? I bet you have this on your instead of writing on a comment, they part it, put a thumbs up, and I bet you would get and send it to you instead of just doing me a logo. I bet you that's what it is, 'cause that's what it, after I read it again, that's what.
But anyway, you know, that's, obviously not, I didn't even get one number. Yeah, exactly. But that's, you know, the goal is.
Yeah.
It's pretty well laid out.
And then.
So like, you did,
Well, no,
sent me that
that
one,
was not
so I
50%
heard
of that. We're
it.
saying all here.
I wonder what it's gonna send to you.
How we framed it, because this is a highly-
So I wonder if she sent you that. I bet you that's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and
You're like, what?
When did they release it?
they did it this summer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
That's what that is. So it's telling it right down.
They're not. They have to know the traffic going to the neighbors. So, the millions and a half of spent on it to steer the
Well,
rail.
considering that, the RDO.
All right, I better
We have another.
So I'm trying to get this
Oh,
all
we
done.
have that. That's
And
allowed.
we had all of this property this way, but
56%
that's all gone.
of that.
So I don't have to worry
But yeah,
about
that was,
We just need
the
help
barn where we
to do the rest of it.
that was the field.
This does.
The flags is where we raised our barn down to the
Yeah.
orchard, which was at the other end, that was gone. So it's.
So what do you want to say in general?
Yeah.
That expansion, you know, bringing it
Yeah.
from about
That was one of the properties we identified.
how the benefit was here.
So you got me
Yeah, it's right there.
Coming back down.
Water.
What I'd like to do is get with Spence Lake, and, you know, everybody has their little animal figured out, put somebody
Put something
aside.
by the,
Yeah,
so,
put some nice statuettes by the sign and stuff.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I knew you'd love it.
So, all right, well, let me get you out of here.
Yes.
So,
It was nice to meet you.
Saturday when I had the dog down.
thank you.
Yeah, he was amazing with us.
We allowed you
Oh,
back.
I know, I know.
No, that's not.
It's a lot. All right, bye, guys. Thank you for your time. Take it easy, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The only thing is that you almost have to rebuild.
Matt, wanna go get dinner now?
Have a good night, you guys.
Yeah, probably.
Like that. Very good.
All right. I'm expecting a really positive article for Winston.
I hope so.
So we decided.
Feel better, Mayor. Have a good night.
He was eligible. Yeah. But, so a lot of it depends.
Well, the duck paid.
The facade grants are limited to 10,000, but there are other grants available, but it takes, they have to give us the ideas what they want to do. And, give us an estimate of what the costs are. So I don't want to promise there isn't. The URA does not have necessarily a,
You don't have any oxygen. I'm not gonna fall.
Glad to hear it.
facade grants are 10,000, but there are we can increase grant size depending on what the people are going to do. Like the Valley Drugs, we gave them, I think it was
60,000, yeah.
And when the co-op built, all we did with that, I guess, was just declare the SD. We paid their SDCs.
We did, but the total amount was 178,000 for the co-op.
Yeah, but facades, the facade grants are limited to 10,000.
Yeah, if you want to look in
Like with what we did with Dairy Delight, or
Dairy Queen.
Dairy
Well, he wanted more, but he didn't want to he didn't run a reassessment on his building because it would raise his property tax.
Yeah.
So he decided he just wanted to take the facade grant.
Was that what made him? Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know what
pushed,
happened.
That pushed him to just doing the 10,000. Yeah, I mean, you can go to that well for the 10,000, but it's very confined to just that level.
Right.
But then there's the just general grant program to where you're approving the improvements over the course of 5 or 6 years. The enhanced property taxes would pay back the installment would get. It's a pretty clear program.
Generally
Wow.
speaking, it's if you're taking an empty lot or a building that's deteriorated and building something new where you're increasing the property tax that much. That's what the URA is really helping out to do.
Yeah, and Elaine Howard and myself, we've worked together on this as of recently because there's some projects going to be coming before you for existing buildings, and it just has to be defined as a capital project.
Right.
A capital project is a pretty broad spectrum of different things. The Winston Shopping Center, he's going to be putting fire suppression, sprinkling it, updating the facade, doing solar panels on the top, a new blacktop. All of that still counts in an overall. Just because it's not a new building doesn't mean it can't be determined as capital.
Yeah, but it'll improve. Once he does all that thing, he'll get a different assessment, and it will increase property taxes.
Absolutely.
So even though it isn't an empty, I mean, even he's not building a new building, but he's improving the building that's there, causing a lot of increased property.
Yeah, that's one thing about DQ. He was doing aesthetic changes, and so therefore his permits were minimal.
Yeah.
But as soon as this gentleman pulls a sprinkling permit, they're going to process it. It's going to be routed to the assessor's office, and they're going to come out and reassess once they're done with the project.
Yeah.
And it's going to enhance quite a bit.
So that's the difference in there.
Okay. I'll see if I can get that all in one.
It's confusing.
We're doing fine.
I've been working on this for 10 years.
I'm doing great. So, some of that planning stuff I can do. It's just
I know, but
second nature.
it's good.
It's a whole new learning
It's a
curve
long
where
time,
you'll be
a
able
lot
to
of
report.
extra work for me. It is appreciated.
I'm
happy.
I wouldn't even take it
I
off.
can write
elated
specs all day
we're
long.
working for the city of
Need to
Winston.
I wouldn't even
Love
take it
it.
off.
We all love it. And it's spreading it.
You're a wordsmith now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Give me something technical.
That's right. Yeah.
Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks, Tom.
Steve, I'll get with you on that quote. We're going to do a manager and mayor message. That's how we're going to label it, I
I
guess.
talked to her.
Have a great night, Al. Yeah.
And she wants me to. I talked to the mayor earlier. She wants me to elaborate on coffee and Christmas a little bit. Trying to hit more people to spend time.
Yeah. Well,
But we'll see.
she's got a small faction fan following with like 5 or 6 people. And that's good. That's good for here. But she wants to grow it. She wants to stuff